So back to the question. Hello, I've got a masonry website with a guy with a simple Facebook page, and a guy with a simple Facebook page is ranking number one on his website. That is one homepage with 270 words, 6 months old, and 2 backlinks. It's ranking number 2. I'm not understanding it. Anyone have a clue why this guy could be doing to rank number 1 and 2 there? City has 175,000 and has probably 10 to 12 businesses related. There's always times where there's anomalies, right? I call them algorithmic anomalies, and it happens. And there's sometimes where I can't explain why something is ranking either. If you dig into the data, like I know you say that they've only got 2 backlinks. Yeah, maybe it could be that it's a really well-established entity, like it's an old company, or it's been around for a long time and they're established. There's that sometimes is it. Like if it's a company that has been around for 20 years or maybe longer, whatever, they're well established. So they're even if they haven't done a lot of SEO, they're well established entities. Like I don't know if that makes sense or not, but I've seen that happen. It generally, like if you try to duplicate that with a newer, younger company, like something that was only a couple of years old, that's very difficult to do. But something that's been established and around for a long time, I've seen that occasionally. Also, I know you say there's only 2 backlinks, and I don't know what kind of backlink analysis you're using, but that may be true. There might only be 2 backlinks. So what I was going to say was a lot of I use Majestic. So Majestic will only show links that are its own algorithms its own algorithm has determined are providing measurable value. It's what's called the fresh index. That's what I analyze. They also have what's called the historic index, which shows the links that have decayed or atrophied according to Majestic's algorithm, as well as links that they deem are insignificant, that are just noise, so to speak. So they filter that out. So a lot of the times, again, I don't know what backlink analysis tool you're using, because some of those will show everything. Some of them will filter them out like Majestic does, so it just depends. But sometimes links that I found that are like like citations and things like that won't appear in the backlink analysis reports, but they are in Search Console. So meaning there's links that aren't significant enough to show up in the analysis, the tools, but there's still links there, if that makes sense. And for local stuff, I've seen that occur with like links from citations and also from like local sources and things like that. It's kind of rare that you don't see those types of links though in a backlink analysis, where Search Console has seen them, but they're not in a backlink analysis. Depends on whether they're indexed by the, like Majestic keeps its own index, is what I'm saying. But then there are times where I just have no way of explaining it. And I just, again, I call that an algorithmic anomaly, because there are times where I've seen stuff that is ranked. I just can't explain it. I've even gone through like deep dive trying to dissect why it's ranking and can't figure it out. And that happens. It's not often, but it does happen from time to time. And I just don't know how to explain it, unfortunately. So I don't know if that was helpful or not. I could look at it if I knew what it was, but I don't know what it is. So, yeah, I just don't know. Sorry about that. Again, it's one of those things where you can't, without having more detail to look at, I wouldn't be able to tell if there's something else going on that could be causing that. Now, something else though that you have to keep in mind that I've seen recently, and I've experienced it firsthand with one of my own businesses. I was talking about this in our mastermind. Actually, we had somebody posted about direct mail. We were talking, one of my webinars that I host in the mastermind is called Build with Bradley. It's a Zoom meeting, a discussion group that we do every other Thursday for an hour. And anyway, in the last one that we had, we were talking about direct mail. And after the meeting, one of our members posted in our Facebook group about direct mail. He was like, speak of the devil, like we were just talking about direct mail today, and he got some direct mail from a local business that he showcased. He took a screenshot, or a photo of it, and posted that, started a little discussion about it. And I was talking about how direct mail, actually using like physical mail, right? I'm talking about like U.S. Postal Service delivering mail. You can use that for SEO. Like, I'm not kidding. And I kind of stumbled across this with my own business when I was flipping vacant land for about 2 years, from 2019 to 2021. So I did that as a side hustle. I was flipping land, like people flip houses while I was flipping vacant land. It was just kind of a side hustle, like I said. And it was interesting because I had created my landing page. It's still live today, in fact, and probably go check it out. I'll see if it's still on page one. It was 2 weeks ago. And I haven't done any work with that business in almost 2 years now. Yeah, because it was 2021 when I stopped. But anyway, let me just show you what I'm talking about. So if my primary keyword was sell land fast, Virginia. Okay. If we take a look at this, we'll scroll down here. There it is right now. Now, this is the landing page that I created. Now it's at, position what, 10, 9, 8. So it's in position 8. But I haven't even touched this in 2 years. Like, I swear to God, because the last time I sold a property, the last time I flipped a piece of vacant land was in 2020, sometime in 2020. And it was from the last time I'd done any marketing to acquire vacant land was in 2019. So it just happened that I had one property that I had about a four-month closing time frame to get it to closing. And so I didn't close on that until 2020. So what I'm saying is I had stopped marketing for this business. Well, I'm sorry, it was 2021 because it was from 2019 to 2021 that I did this. But I had stopped marketing for this business in 2020 because I stopped flipping land. Like, I stopped doing that as a side hustle because I wanted to refocus back in on SEO. So anyway, the reason I'm telling you that is because this is still ranked today. Yes, it's only in position number 8. But I haven't done any SEO work to this in 2 years. Does that make sense? And even what I'm telling you is I didn't do any SEO work to this initially when this is just a ClickFunnels landing page, guys. ClickFunnels very limited in what you can optimize, because especially when I created this page, they didn't have heading tags. Like, you couldn't designate H1s, H2s, and all that other kind of stuff. It was literally just headings and text. And so you couldn't really optimize the elements of the page. Right. So all I did was slap up this single page funnel or whatever on ClickFunnels page. And then I started when I launched the business, which was I think it was in either March or April of 2019. The first month, all I did was I set up a Google Ads campaign. Okay. So I had Google Ads running, and then I started doing direct mail to vacant landowners in Virginia. And I'd sent out about 1,000 letters over the first month. So the first 30 days that this was live, this business was live, and this landing page was live, all I had was Google Ads, no SEO. I didn't do any of the semantic mastery SEO methods because I wasn't planning on generating leads from SEO. I was planning on using direct mail. And I put up some ads because I knew that, ads I could get ranked immediately. I just hadn't planned on SEOing this. Okay. Just to be clear. But I set up ads and I started doing direct mail. And within 30 days, this ranked number 1 for my primary keyword, sell land fast, Virginia, which is interesting because what I ended up discovering was what happened. People were getting the letter that I would send to vacant landowners telling them like, hey, my name is Bradley. I'm a land investor, a private investor. I'm looking to acquire more vacant land in whatever county it was that I'm sending it to. And your property, you were identified as a vacant landowner, and I'm interested in making a cash offer on your property. If you're interested, go to, and it would have the link to this page right here on there. But I had my logo, up at the top of that letter. It was just a single page letter that I sent to them, basically pitching them like, hey, if you want a cash offer for your vacant land, go here and or call this number, because I have a 1-800 answering service, an answering service that would answer the phone and answer all these questions down here. That's what they would ask. Anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is I would direct the recipient that had the letter to either go to the landing page, complete this form, or call the call center. Well, what ended up happening was a lot of people got these letters and they would go to Google and search for Alpha Land Realty. So they would do a branded search and then click through to this page. So in other words, let me just show you. If I go back over to Google and I do a search for Alpha Land Realty, I'm going to come up number 1, right? Plain as day. So what they were doing was, by doing direct mail, sending a letter with my branding on it, they would go to Google instead of going directly to the Google search or the address bar and typing in alphaland.realty/sell or whatever, they would go to Google and search Alpha Land Realty and then click through. And by doing that, that was a search and click signal and that's interesting. That was the WordPress site that popped up. It was a searching, a branded search, like CTR manipulation we talk about all the time. Well, this was like socially engineered CTR manipulation. Like, this wasn't bots. These were real people in Virginia, real Google users that would go to Google and search Alpha Land Realty and then click through to my website. And that signal alone helped me to rank #1 for my keyword, not for the brand, but for the keyword. Now, why is that? Because if you take a look at, now, again, I haven't done any marketing for this in 2 years, but if we take a look at the title tag, it says, well, it says it right here. You can see it. Alpha Land Realty, sell land fast in Virginia and Tennessee. And I added Tennessee like the last 6 months that I was flipping land. The first year and a half, all I did was Virginia alone. So my brand name and the primary keyword were in the title tag, but a branded search and click from real people, not from bots, but from real people that were in Virginia, going and searching Alpha Land Realty and then clicking through to my site, ranked the site #1 for sell land fast Virginia. Does that make sense? And it's because it was part of the SEO title for my Alpha Land Realty page. There was an association between Alpha Land Realty and sell land fast Virginia. That's why it was just a great question, actually, because it's very timely. I'm doing a ton of Local Fury audits. Part of what we do for Local Fury now is when you join, you have to pay an onboarding and an audit fee, because that then allows what we do is we go, when you submit your project data, we analyze, we do what I call a local SEO audit and an entity analysis. And then we review, it's now a 21-point checklist that I'm going through, kind of auditing the project holistically. In other words, looking at the entire project to determine if there's any kind of weaknesses or anything else that could be improved upon, so that when we send signals via Local Fury, it's going to rank better, right? But in these audits, I've been finding a lot where people's SEO, whatever their location landing page that they've designated or assigned. What is that? A location landing page is the website URL associated with the Google Business Profile, right? So whatever you have designated as the website for your Google Business Profile, that is what's called a location landing page, right? Because it's the landing page for that Google Business location. If it's a single location business, it's generally going to be the homepage, usually. If it's a multi-location business, then it typically should be an internal location page that's optimized for that specific location, right? But what I'm trying to say is, whatever you use as your location landing page, a homepage or an inner location page, you should always have your brand name in the title tag alongside your primary keyword. But you should always have, what I'm finding a lot on these audits that I'm doing for Local Fury clients, customers, members, whatever, is that a lot of the times they're targeting their keywords in their title tag, but they're not including their brand name, which is that's wrong. Like it's a missed opportunity, because we want to reinforce to Google the brand and reinforce the entity. And there's 3 components to a local entity, 3 main components, what I call tier 0 assets. There's the self-hosted site, the Google Business Profile, and in the Google Business website, which is a bridge between the two. So the self-hosted site, okay, that's the organic side of the local entity. Then the Google Business Profile is the maps side of the local business and the local entity. But the Google Business website is like a hybrid. It's a bridge between the two that connects the organic side to the map side, if that makes sense. And so interestingly enough, and I'll demonstrate that right now with Alpha Land Realty, just to show you, okay? Alpha Land Realty.business.site. I thought I had published that. Let me just do a quick search for that first. Maybe I didn't, but anyway, what I was going to show you was, if you take a look, guys, at your Google Business websites, you'll see, and I'm coming back to the original question here about, using CTR and things like that for brand, to be able to rank stuff, even branded search and clicks, right? And direct mail and all of that. That's, I'm coming back to that point, but give me a minute. So I'm going to look for business.site and then Alpha Land Realty. There it is. Maybe I misspelled it the first time. There it is. Okay, so this is what I was trying to demonstrate, guys. Okay, if you see in my title tag up here, now I know it's small, but if you can see that it's what you're seeing, it's the same title tag as you see here. The difference is I like to put the keyword plus location modifier first, and then on the location landing page. Okay. So I like to have the keyword and location modifier first, and then the brand name. Full stop, always. That's what I do. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that you want to always reinforce between those three components, the brand name. And by reinforcing the brand name, but putting your keyword in alongside it, you're associating your primary keyword with that brand name. And Google does this automatically with the Google business websites. It doesn't give you an option. And that's why I'm saying, pay attention to what Google does and duplicate that, right? You want to replicate that with your own optimization. And so what I'm saying is, if we go take a look at this, let me go back over here. This is the Google business profile, and look at the name, the profile name, Alpha Land Realty. Well, look at the Google business website, the title tag. You don't have a choice over this. It's whatever the Google business profile name is the first part of the SEO title for the Google business website. You have no control over that. You can't change it. The only way you can change it is if you change the Google business profile name. Do you understand? But then the part that we do have control over is that second part. Okay, so you see that right there. That is the part that we see as the second part of the SEO title. But what I'm saying is, we have no control over this. That is automatically inserted by Google. Okay, so shouldn't we also do that with whatever our location landing page is associated with that project? Do you get that? It doesn't have to be the first part of the SEO title, but your brand name should always be in the SEO title for the location landing page. Because again, it's reinforcing, validating the entity across all three components. All right. So one more time, Google business location name, Google business website. It's the brand name is in the first part of the SEO title. And then we associate the primary keyword. And then on the money site, we have the primary keyword and location modifier, and then the brand name. Do you understand? So it's always reinforcing. And that's kind of the point that I'm trying to make is I learned that you can rank. So getting back to the original question about, well, how can somebody be ranking when they've only got 2 backlinks and very little content? It could be off-page signals. They could be ranking because they're doing off-page offline marketing, like radio ads, direct mail, print ads in their local area. So newspaper inserts, newspaper ads, whatever else. They could be going door to door, hanging flyers on doorknobs, or putting folded flyers on mailboxes. Or you're not supposed to put them in mailboxes because that's a federal offense. You're supposed to put them on the mailbox. You know what I mean? But my point is they could be doing offline marketing, which is driving people to Google to do a brand search, just like what I experienced with Alpha Land Realty. Do you get what I'm saying? So there are times where we can analyze data, but there's no data that warrants or can justify, there's not enough data to justify why they're performing well. And then we have to look at, well, what else could there possibly be? And it could be just literally, they could be ranking on engagement signals and traffic and CTR, but real CTR, not bot traffic. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it could be that as well. And that's something to always pay attention to, because if you have one of my tree service contractors is in Massachusetts, he actually just sent me an email 2 days ago and said one of the companies that's a competitor of his, they've only been around 10 years. And this company, my client's been around for 30 years. But there's this other company that is ranking really well across a very large service area, and they're spending a ton of money on radio ads and TV spots, local TV ads. And so my client reached out to me and was like, I don't know how they have the money to spend on that kind of advertising, but because of it, they're crushing it. They're everywhere. And I've noticed that too, because he's been a client of mine for about 5 months, and I've seen this other company. They're everywhere. And so I basically told him, I was like, he asked me, he's like, is there any other way that we can capitalize on all the money that they're spending for their brand recognition? And I said, yeah, we can do a brand campaign in Google Ads where we're targeting their brand name to where our ad will show up at the top when somebody does a brand search for them. Now it might show up below them, because if they're smart and they're bidding on their own brand name, they're always going to appear at the top above the other ads. But we can set up a branded ad campaign where we're targeting their brand name as the search query. We can't use their brand name in the ad copy, but we can target that as the targeted keyword, if that makes sense. And so that's what I told him I'd do. I was like, yeah, we can do that. I can set up a branded campaign where we're targeting that tree service company name, so that when they're generating all this search traffic from offline marketing, radio spots and TV ads, then therefore, when people go to Google to search for that tree service name, your ad will show up. Does that make sense? Again, if they're bidding on their own brand name, their ad will always show at the very top, but we can show up right underneath that and give an alternative option. And we will siphon some of that traffic away from them. Do you understand? So anyway, that was a great question. I just thought it was, you know, a good opportunity to kind of describe that. And we had a discussion about this in our mastermind. Like, guys, direct mail is a great strategy because, you know, we all spend money and time and effort trying to manipulate signals using local fury and CTR stuff, which, by the way, we didn't talk about Kraken. We should talk about that. Adam.
Yeah, good reminder.
But yeah, we spend a lot of time and effort trying to manipulate things like that. And where, you know, a direct, like, guys, I years ago, before I got into digital marketing, I used to flip houses from 2003 to 2008, 2007, the real estate bubble burst in the United States. And I basically went bankrupt then, but I tried to hang on for one more year. So I ended up, that business went bankrupt in 2008 because I was in the rehabbing houses and things like that. But what I'm saying is I learned direct mail from 2003 to 2007. I was doing a ton of direct mail. I mean, I was spending, you know, $4,000 or $5,000 a month on direct mail campaigns to acquire properties, but it worked. It worked fantastically well. And that's the best way to market for vacant land too. And so what I'm saying is, like, I'm still a believer today. And it wasn't until this project, though, this Alpha Land Realty project, that I realized that direct mail can assist SEO. Like, it not only can you generate real valid leads for your businesses, your clients' businesses, by managing direct mail campaigns for them, if that's something that you choose to do for them, or they can hire it out or somewhere else, whatever. But the point is, not only will that generate valid leads for their business, but it also helps to assist with SEO if done right. Right. So instead of putting a link in the mail that you send to them, you could tell them, go to Google and search for the name, whatever the company name is, and click through. Like, that is a huge signal. Right. So if you do direct mail in your local area and you tell them in the, whatever it is, a postcard, letter, whatever it is that you ask them to go to Google and search for the brand name, then that is a huge signal. And those are all real valid users in a local area. Right. So it's just like what we tried to do with CTR, but it's real. It's social engineered CTR manipulation. And I mean, and I say it's manipulation, but it's, in all reality, you're actually investing in marketing. It's true traditional marketing, and it can help SEO. Right on. It was a good question.